How are we starting the show?
Yeah, just like Gary V.
Like Gary V.
Did you record it?
Yeah, it's recording now.
Oh, you just got to do this. Gary V in. This is Gary V on the V Town.
Just copy his intro just entirely. Don't even like change it at all.
No, just. I want people to. I want him to know. I want Gary V to know that I'm hustling every day, like he said, to make it out here, dude. You know what he says? Start a podcast.
Gary V's not going to call us. His lawyer's going to call us. He's going to say,
this copyright is
cease and desist. Yeah. You can't use this.
That's
you can't
funny.
do this.
Yeah.
Well, at least it'll be like a 6 degree of separation. We'll know Gary V through his attorney, technically. You know.
So, do you know how he got famous?
Making wine YouTube videos.
Yeah. Like, so he's, I guess, one of the early adopters of social media in going viral. I think. Yeah,
apparently, like he had his dad had a liquor store, they sold wine store. Yeah. And they weren't doing bad apparently, but I mean his son helped him get to a whole new level, and it launched his son obviously into a whole different level of media, you know.
Dude, I think I mean the guy's on one, so I think that also helps. Like when you have like that level of like passion and grit to like go in. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna keep hustling till I get it. You know, after the 10th, 15th time of hustling and you don't get something, you probably get super, discouraged. But, not Gary V, dude. Not.
Yeah. we got to come up with a different intro. But, yeah, I guess welcome to episode 2 of Bibhor and Oskar's podcast. The first one, it's been going well. You know, we've been trying different things. You know, there's, I'll be honest, with the introduction of AI, there's a lot of things that you can do nowadays. For example, with this podcast, like, again, we have to edit it, and I still do that manually, but being able to post this on social media, do the shorts, and have that be kind of self-edited, that saves you a ridiculous amount of time, you know? So it's like... Yeah,
and again, like... I feel like I will go through, or we'll go through the entire process of how to do that. You know, like I'm not trying to I don't think we're gatekeeping anything here, but yeah, it's when someone says it's this easy to go ahead and get started in doing a podcast, like it is, right? Like obviously we have mics and camera and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you could probably just do this with an iPhone.
Well, the first time we started, we did it with just a Zoom camera,
right.
A computer camera,
right.
I guess, So I guess at the minimum, maybe just a computer. But
I think what really helps is it's hard to do it remote. It's hard to do the Zoom. It's hard to do like virtual podcasting, I guess, just because the cues is not instant, right? Like if you say something or you're starting to talk and I see you, I will stop, versus like in the internet, and it happens all the time when I'm on like work calls. Like I'm talking and then someone else is talking, but like there's a split delay, which it just Zoom's not capturing fast enough. And then like both people are talking at the same time. That doesn't happen when you're like, I mean it happens probably, right? But you see it a lot faster.
It's more of a natural thing. Yeah. It's like, I mean, it happens in natural conversation. But like I know what you're saying. There's like a lag when it comes to Zoom or huddles or things like that. But talking about AI and everything like that, going back to that, I mean, being able to do that, we're making that app, the AI mechanic. And last night, man, I'll be honest, I was talking about good dedication. I was going to dedicate a lot of time to it last night, but I got on ChatGPT and I don't know, there's a video. You ever see those videos of how it's made?
I mean, we should watch a TV show.
Yeah, the TV show. It's how it's made.
Okay, yeah. Dude, I get sucked into those, dude. I go to YouTube holes for hours on watching how they, like, one of the machine was like these, I don't know if you've seen this, like, but it's like a farm tool, and it's just a harvesting tool. So it harvests like barley, like different types of like crops, and it's just like this giant like long row thing, and it has like a control module, like with like basically a car right on top, or like a...
Bro, park that for a second, because I'm going to get back to that in a second, because there's another thing that I'm really into. But last night I was going to get to that AI mechanic, and I went on this whole thing after watching it. Like you said, I went on this hole. But on ChatGPT, it takes you down a whole different hole. I was watching how golf balls are made.
Oh.
And I was thinking, like, well, we went golfing this past weekend with a bunch of buddies, and they were saying, well, I lost balls immediately. It's like the first hit is like, and it's like it's one of the worst feelings, and it's like one of the things that I also find, it's like I hit it maybe halfway decent, maybe not in the fairway, but in the rough, but then I still lose the ball because it's still like it's in the grass and everything like that. So I'm thinking to myself, well, that's a big problem, man. It's like I hate that problem. I hate losing balls.
Yeah.
They're expensive. So I'm like,
especially those Pro V ones. Those
dude.
good,
a pack of 12 costs you like $50. And it's like I'm gonna lose all 12, so it's like $50 down the drain. So I'm thinking, well, how can you make this a little bit better, where you could at least find maybe a ball or two? And I'm looking at like RFID tags, like UWS, like different GPS systems that you could implement into the ball, going down like the different polymers, because the ball has to be malleable, like it literally squishes. I went down a wormhole till like 3 a.m. last night, like trying to design. I'll put my designs up that ChatGPT helped me create. But I was trying to create a design of like, how can you create like a ball that you could track farther than at least 400 yards is the minimum. Like if you drive it, you want to still be able to find it, right?
Dude, people that are driving 400 yards aren't losing their balls.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man.
If you're playing good, you're not losing your balls. Yeah, but doesn't that already exist? Like, no one has made a GPS. No.
The closest thing to it is like an RFID thing, but you have to be within like 8 feet of the ball. So it'll give you a ping once you get close to it. So if I know I hit it in that general direction, once I get within like 10 feet, it'll kind of give me a ping, 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 and kind of show me where I could go. But there's nothing that's kind of like, arguably it's like the TrackMan, that they have like driving ranges that'll show you exactly where you hit the ball. With this one, it would be like GPS location, where it would show you exactly where you hit the ball. So you could see it on your app and say like, I hit it next to the fucking.
So it's some sort of like an air tag type of.
It would be an air tag, yeah,
like,
a UWS. That's where,
okay.
yeah. So it would be more like an air tag, but there would still be the RFID like built into it. But again, the air tag function requires a battery, and that's what makes it hard, because now it's a bigger thing. It has like. I got into like the millimeters.
You're solving a problem that doesn't need it.
If it's a $500 million industry and it's not a big enough industry to like.
Yeah, it's that first, and it's like, well, again, I think it just comes down to if you're really good or not really good. If you're good, if you're okay, you probably will lose less balls. That's just kind of how it works. Right, I don't think like Nolan is not out there losing like mad balls every time we play.
Yeah, but how many people?
It's you and me.
How many people are like us who are just like we get discouraged? I get discouraged sometimes. Like, and I'm trying to like, dude, I want to look for the ball. I already lost the ball, and it's like I can't even keep playing because I don't know where my ball is. And I'm not gonna do another one because like I just lost the ball. That's money.
Let's go to the driving range.
Well, yeah, practice. I guess that's the answer, right?
Let's
yeah.
go to driving range.
Don't invent a ball, Oscar. Just go practice.
Yeah, the amount of money that you will spend on. Manufacturing this prototype is not the
juice is not worth the squeeze.
Yeah,
ultimately, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Someone like like Pro V1 or whatever company. I think, is it Pro V1 that makes it? Okay, those guys will just be like, all right, Oscar figured it out. Now we'll make this because.
Well, the play would be like a utility patent, and then you would sell it to those companies. 'Cause it has to be like something that's like super small, and then have like a polymer or casing to protect it from the impact itself.
But you've seen balls that are like destroyed too, right? Like on the course, like you've seen like balls that are cracked in half.
Sure, for sure.
Okay, so that does happen too.
100%. Like, and that's a good thing. You don't want these balls to be indestructible because then they'll never buy new ones, right? It's kind of, I guess, like the medical industry. It's like if you're healthy, then you don't buy pills and you don't need their services, kind of thing, But. I don't know. That's a different.
It probably just wears out, dude. The ball probably just wears out over time.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It's just like
even the bounce. It doesn't bounce the same after.
The ball's getting beat, dude.
So and like you had to take that. I mean, I went down
Is there
too
a solution?
far.
Is there a solution?
Arguably, yes. Though I don't know. I think in like 5 years, I think 100%. Like batteries and those tags, the GPS systems will be even smaller. Right now, like the smallest one is like I think 5 millimeters by 5 millimeters. It's the size of a grain of rice, pretty much.
Yeah. No. Anyone listening here, there's an idea. if you know how to make manufacture golf balls,
Dude,
put
hit
those
me
there.
up. Please don't steal my idea. Help, I got a bunch of prototypes and stuff like that. But that would be the plan. I don't know. It was stupid. I woke up today. I'm like, I wasted my night last night trying to work on that.
How different do you think, like, your output would be in ChatGPT for that exact same prompt? So let's say you wrote that prompt out and you got your prototype built, right? And let's say I'm like, oh, Oscar said a great idea in the podcast. Let me go and try to like do the same thing in ChatGPT and see if I can come up with something. How different would that response be to the second person making, obviously not the same query? You could be making different type of inputs, right? Because he's not going to ask the exact same questions. You're not leading him down the exact same path.
Correct.
But how close do you think those two prototypes would be? Because there's a memory function as well on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That like remembers you as Oscar, right? Like remembers me. Like the more I use it, the more it knows, and you can like delete that and whatnot. But
I don't know. I would say like the first design that I made, it gave me different ideas, and it was like different things. It was like talking about using like a whole like solar panel on the outside to receive energy that way to charge the battery.
Oh,
solar
yeah.
panel outside.
Okay.
Like, so it was doing like really wild ideas, but I think that ideas that are just not fully functional yet, or the cost would just be so high that it wouldn't make any sense.
Dude. This is not it.
This
is not it. Because now I didn't even think about those things needing batteries.
Well, so no, that's the thing. So it's like there's some that don't require it, or there's some that can get it from a kinetic force. So the hitting the ball can actually give it power.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but that's so
so it's like that.
Cars have that too, like where you brake, it like
Correct.
creates the energy back into the car.
Because I was thinking, well, how about the wireless charging? You could do it like in a little ball handler. You could sell those on the side, an extra way of making some revenue that way. But with those, you need to have like the antenna or the battery antenna to be able to do that wireless charging. And I'm like, well, that's going to mess up the polymer on the inside, right? It's because again, it has to be like. If you ever seen a ball hit slow-mo, I'll see if I could put one up. But the ball, like, it smashes.
Jamie, see that right now. Like, put that up.
it smashes in half, I gotta get that on OBS and be able to put that on here and we could check it out. But it moves a lot. So, like, even this thing being 10 millimeters is maybe a third of the ball. Is crazy that it's too big because the movement of it is too big. It's going to change how the ball moves.
Yeah, it's just not it. It's not it. It's not. There are 100. Like just because there's a problem, it's like, is it worth solving? Right? Is it worth solving that problem from? Like
I guess no. The golf ball market is worth $500 million. Like, let's say you take 10% of the market. That's a $50 million.
Well, is it $500 million per year? Is that the market?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn. That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not great. Like you want to.
But it requires I don't know. I feel like we would have to invent, in and of itself, like a smaller device to be able to do this functionally.
I found out 2 days ago that there is a professional indoor golf tournament. So they play in these giant simulators, and then they play. So they'll drive off the simulator. They'll do like everything up until they get to the green. And then once they get to the green, they go and they play inside this facility on the green. So they walk over there and then they play the rest. And then the entire field is like. The entire green is like some sort of technology that like morphs the plane, so it's different each time. So if there is that some level of like, it feels like I'm playing outside.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I mean,
you're not playing outside.
You're not playing outside, but it's a cool thing. Like it's a cool, like hey, like it's like a futsal for like football. You know what I mean? Like people start playing like indoor soccer. Like that's a huge thing, right? Like I think there's like massive amount of tournaments and money built into that. Like
I think for places especially that are like that snow and like you like or they actually have seasons. We're in California.
I'm saying that's like a tournament. That's like the Masters of There's a whole
Indoor
league. Yeah,
golf?
what I'm telling you is like there's a whole league that exists that does that.
That's
And then this
crazy.
is I watched the finals or the playoffs or
The
whatever.
championship.
The championship the other day, and I
On
was like,
ESPN
I was like mesmerized. I was like, what? Like this happens, and then they just walk around. It's like $1 billion facility they built out in Florida, and like
Yeah.
there's just when I'm talking about huge, massive screens,
Yeah.
and it feels like you're there and you're putting or not putting, you're driving. And then you play all the way on the fairway, all the way down to the green, and then the green you just walk over there, and then you play the green like there.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't feel the same. What makes it hard about playing is like you hit it into the rough, and all of a sudden you're on a hill and a slope that's like this, and you're trying to whack the stupid ball with a club that's halfway up. You know, that's
Yeah,
what makes
dude,
it
I
hard.
mean-
you know, that's what makes it more challenging.
It's hard, bro.
And I don't think they have it in the virtual. I mean,
Yeah, I mean that's hard to. Again, I will say this: these professionals are not hitting too many times in the rough and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's very rare. I feel like.
bro, have you watched it? Like, just watch the PGA. Like, watch the Masters.
Oh no, I do. I have.
They mess up all the time.
They do. But I'm saying like, to the degree of it happening over and over.
Not
and
like
over,
us,
To
yeah, no,
us, like,
definitely
I'm saying,
not.
like,
No,
to
no,
me,
yeah.
every hole, like
Obviously,
every
yeah,
hole I
yeah.
play, I am either. It's never directly on the fairway, and I'm playing fairway. Like let's say par 5, right? It's not that I'm straight on the fairway every like all 5 holes. I'm probably like okay, you know, I hit out in the rough, and then I play back, and then like go a little bit further. But it's never just like boom, boom, boom down the fairway. You know, like it's. It's rough, dude. It's rough.
The guy,
it's fun.
The old man at the end. We went golfing on Sunday, and there was an old man at the end, and he's like, "How'd it go?" And I'm like, "Well, you know how it is, not very well." He's like, "Well, did you get a par at least?" And I lied to him. I said, "Yeah, I got 1 par. I didn't get any pars."
Oh man,
That was terrible, but I had a good time.
I think, and that's why here we live in a golf course. We should go more, or at least go to the range more.
We should practice.
And I think once summer rolls around more,
Practice?
like practice. Talk about practice. Yeah, that's an iconic moment. You know what I mean? That's like a.
I realized it was the context that I think I originally remember that was different. You know, I thought he missed practice just because he wanted to miss practice. I didn't know that his best friend died and all that stuff. And
Oh, yeah. That's the first time I'm hearing this. Is that true?
Yeah. And we're talking about practice.
Yeah, dude. I mean, here's the thing, right? What people, I think, forget is, like, if you're that good, like, if you're good as Allen Iverson, if you're good as Kobe Bryant, yes, not Kobe Bryant, but, like, let's say Allen Iverson or some of these other great players, right? If you're that good, you're playing and practicing every day. You know what I mean? You can't be that good consistently for, like, 7-8 years without, like, being some level of, like, I'm going to give it all to the game, you know? Mm-hmm. You're getting up, your diet, you're eating. And again, not all athletes, like, do that. You know, like, there's a player, Zion Williamson, and he plays for the Pelicans. Supposed to came in from college, was supposed to be, like, goated. Like, everyone was so hyped about him. And he just got to the NBA, started making money, dude, and just... Like, he's good, still plays well, but he
got injured,
he got
too,
huge.
yeah.
He got big, and he just started, like, just living the life, dude. 100 million, 200 million, like... If your mentality is not wanting to be the best, you're probably like, I got 200 million now, like, you know, like...
I mean, even at the end of the day,
do?
like let's say taxes... Is he in New Orleans, Louisiana?
Yeah, New Orleans.
I don't know what the taxes are, but let's say 50% taxes and then 30% goes to his agent. He's still walking away with about $20 million. Not bad. $20 million.
A year?
No, well, let's say he made $200 million throughout his entire contract. He walks away with $20 million for his entire contract.
No, way more than that.
Well, I'm just saying, if like after you're paying your agents and all your people
Yeah,
and taxes and
you're
everything,
walking away with more than that.
I don't know, man.
You think? $200 million drops down. You get 10% when it gets.
Dude, I feel like these folks don't make like that much money. They got to pay a lot of people, man. A lot of people make money off of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very poor money management from like.
Well, you got to pay the money manager. You know what I mean? It's like that guy doesn't work for free.
Yeah, but like I feel like they're usually like taking like It's not that. I don't think it's that much. If you make 100 million, let's say, right? Let's say you pay like 30% taxes, and then your manager takes like 4 or 5% or whatever. You're still left with like a solid chunk. Like, there's no way. Maybe you have like house payments. You're a baller. You got like 6, 7 houses. That's like the only way I can see like this going downhill super fast. But Mike Tyson went broke, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like,
well, now they have a rule with like the NBA or the NFL, right, where they have to be set up with like a financial advisor. That way, these folks don't like lose all their money after.
I don't know. I just don't understand when you have that much money. It's probably because I don't have that much money. But when you have that much money, how do you go broke? Like, where does it all fall apart? Are you just being completely taken advantage of? Because that's the only way I see it. People are just scamming the shit out of you right and left. Like,
I had a teacher who used to always say, money flows away from people who don't know how to manage it and flows to people who know how to manage it.
100%.
So I think if you don't know how to manage it, whether you have $10 or $100 million, you're going to lose it kind of thing,
Oh, 110%, dude.
So I think that's it. And I think that's part of like why they're doing that on the professional level of like these dudes have $100 million and they're ending up working at Trader Joe's or Costco 2 years.
What's wrong with those places?
Nothing, but it's like after being a professional NBA player and getting a multi-million-dollar deal, something didn't go right for you to kind of.
Costco's a great employee.
100%. I'm not knocking Costco.
We love
man.
Costco, dude.
But they.
Like, have you seen those Costco guys? Sorry to take this any further, but have you seen those Costco guys?
Which ones? Oh, the.
You got the boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, those Costco guys are they're pretty funny. I don't know, they get a lot of hate, right? Like people think they're annoying or whatever, but it's got, hey, like whatever, dude, it works. Like what am I gonna like? You got the boom, and I think what happened. I think the mom and the daughter started doing their own thing. Like, it was the Costco guys. Now it's like there's a sister.
Costco girls.
Yeah, I don't know if it's called Costco girl, but there's a sister and then the mom, and they do their own thing now. I'm like, that's kind of funny. Like, you want to double up your revenue real fast?
Dude, they're turning into like a media company.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're doing. Like now, it's like you kind of see like the dad and the wife that are like really pushing that, and the kids like sometimes they don't look like they're having fun. Sometimes they look like they're having fun, but now it's like it's a business.
You're committed. You're committed.
Yeah.
There's like a law that just came out or something where if you are a YouTuber and you have your kid as they're part of the show, then you have to pay them. They're entitled to monetary compensation for being part of your like channel.
Interesting.
It's some like that's like some sort of a child protection law for like because it's a new era. It's a different game.
Sure, yeah, because I mean, there's a bunch of protections for like movies and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. So. Yeah. It's hard to navigate that, I guess.
There's a lot of documentaries about. My girlfriend loves all those crime.
Did you watch the Gabby Patino one that just came out on Netflix?
There's not the newest one. I've seen the other ones, but there's a bunch of like new ones that have come out on Netflix about like families who adopted kids or their own kids and they became like YouTube stars or like just social media influencers kind of things around their kids. And it turns out they're like abusing their kids, like their kids are locked up and doing all this stuff.
One.
It's like
you want to hear the trippiest thing? So there's a Netflix documentary that just came out, and it was about this YouTube mom that.
It was the same one.
Yeah, it's probably the same one. The YouTube mom where she was like using their kids. She was being super mean. God, she's from Utah. I think that's kind of what.
And then they moved to New Mexico or something like that. Or?
No.
Okay.
Long story short, dude, I was on a call at work, and I was talking to like a partner, and he was like, "Hey, hold on one second. Someone's knocking on my door," and it was a kid. That basically was the kid that escaped and was knocking on his door.
No.
Dude, that's what he said, and I didn't think of anything of it. I was like, okay, like whatever. And I told my wife, and she was like, oh, like there's this big YouTube star that basically this thing is going down on, and they're from Utah. And I was like, dude, I just talked with my guy, and he's in Utah, and he without me knowing what happened on that side, he told me what had happened to him.
Yeah.
So it's not like I knew of the story and I like told him about it. He told me. He's like, oh, someone's knocking on some kid. It's like some kid came and knocked and like asked for food or something. That's what he said. He's like, weird. My neighbor. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
I don't know, man, because I feel like the video shows like the neighbor staying out there with a long time, and he's like calling the cops and shit like that.
I don't know. Maybe we were watching two different things.
Or maybe that shit happens a lot in New Mexico or Utah. Man, there's a bunch of kids running around asking for food, man. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Bunch of hoodlums. I don't know what's going on in Utah.
I feel like Utah's a nice place. You been to Utah?
I've never been to Utah.
So I went to Utah like
what's in Utah? Salt Lake City?
4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Because I worked for a Utah company for a while.
A Mormon company?
I don't understand. I don't want to throw names down there, but like...
I mean, it's Utah. I mean,
there are a lot of Mormon folks within the... Mormons don't like to be called Mormons.
They don't?
No.
Why?
They want to be called... they follow the Church of Latter-day Saint.
Much longer of a name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But like, that's I guess like a derogatory term or something. I don't know what's right. It is not.
Oh, the Mormons are going to be commenting. This is not a derogatory.
I know. This is not derogatory.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Speaking from a Mormon.
Yeah. But hey, I think my personal experience with Mormons has been nice.
You're making it derogatory.
They're super chill. Like they're good people. They don't drink they don't drink. Like, they give money back to the church and stuff. It's like, all right, like, there's no way I could be like, oh, that's bad. Like, don't do that. I'm like, all right, like, at least you don't drink, like, I drink.
I mean, not drinking doesn't make you a good person or a bad person.
No, but like, that's within the faith, like, oh, drinking is, generally speaking, drinking is probably not good for you.
Yeah.
At
least they follow
some sort of a ethics code of. But again, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and but it's a lot more than I'm giving to the church. At least they go to church.
That's true, I guess. Yeah. You got to start somewhere. Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, it's like going back to that farming though. You ever played this game called Farming Simulator?
Like Farmville?
No. It's called Farming Simulator.
What do you do?
You simulate having a farm. So like everything you're talking about, like right now with how you built this, where you saw like the farming and like the different machines that they use to like harvest barley.
Oh,
and stuff like that.
On how it's made.
That's what the game is. You doing that, and you could like you could reap.
But what's the end game?
Different things. You could just become a farmer and just do that all the time, or you could turn those things. I mean, for some people, that's fine, man. It's like you just sell when it's high.
No, but what's the point? Like, what am I trying to accomplish?
What's the point of that?
Okay, so like you and me, we play, Warzone. We're going live on Rebirth Island. We're dropping down.
Yeah.
And the goal is to win that game.
Yeah.
What is the goal of the game?
Well, it's kind of like Sims. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the goal of Sims? There's a lot of goals.
It's life. You just play it. There's there's I don't want to do that.
There's a lot of
things. That's a hard life. So of all the things I could choose to be, you're like, hey, like
a farmer, man.
Yeah, let's simulate a farmer's life.
So like what's cool is
sounds odd.
What's cool is you learn a lot about like the different processes of like how they reap and sow all these. Like I have cotton fields, right? I have a bunch of cotton fields, but I bought the textile where I give the cotton to, where they turn it into linen, and then because I made so much linen and sold it for so much money, I bought the textile company that makes it into clothes. Now I'm making buka. So it's teaching you about like verticalization. I don't know, man. It's like,
okay,
there you go. Start with the farm and then build your way up, and now you own the.
Well, how long have you played? How much time have you given this?
Probably far too much time. I'll be
Okay.
honest. Yeah.
I don't play any phone.
It's not on the phone. No. It's on
It's
PlayStation.
not on the phone?
On PlayStation and on the computer, but I play it on the PlayStation. You should try it.
I see you online. Like I actually haven't logged in like 4 months, but I see you online all the time.
I was playing
that
Farm Simulator. Yeah. I was reaping I have a bunch of sheep, which creates wool. Oh, bro, see with the wool and the cotton, I had everything I needed.
Okay, and then like I assume you can like sell lumber and all that kind of stuff. Like,
yep.
okay,
You want to have a winery? You could even do grapes and turn it into wine.
That's crazy.
Or turn it into grape juice, whatever you want, you know?
Yeah, that's not the life I want to live. Can I be Jeff Bezos? Like, is there a game? Like, can I be like, oh, like, in the life of a billionaire? Like, what do? You just like get up, like, what do you think? Like,
no, but you got to start with Jeff Bezos as like when he started in that little office with Amazon.
No, I want him already to have made it.
Well, what's the point of the game if you already made it? You know,
there's no point to the game. There's no point to the game.
The whole point of the game is to make it. That's like Sims, man.
No, this is you know the shit they're telling me right now. It's like it's about the journey. Like no, fuck off, dude.
You don't get it.
It's about the.
You don't.
It's about the end result, dude. Like
exactly.
Yeah, the end result is like.
But the journey is necessary for the end result.
Dude, just give me the end result. Why can't I just play at the end result? Why are you making me go through?
You won't play.
No, I'll play.
No, you get bored.
No, I'll play.
You don't get hooked.
No, don't make it a farming.
You're not going to dedicate hours to it
what?
like I have.
So there was this.
If you already start with all that stuff.
So in South Park, this is about 10 years, maybe 10 years ago or so, there was this thing called Heroin Hero, and basically it's like these kids were just so addicted to like playing this video game, where it's just like a junkie going through his like thing, and he just like would shoot up. And that was the whole game, and people were addicted to the game, the metaphor of like the heroin and the whole thing. And it's so funny because like there's no point to the game.
They just go around shooting the needle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So but again, if you were to choose a game, or like that goes to have nothing at the end, just choose a game that's like like fun. I guess I don't know. Is it fun? Do you have fun playing that game, or is it just mindless like? Time suck.
I've come to learn to enjoy the small things in life. It's no Call of Duty. I'm not on the edge of my seat.
Oh, dude.
But
damn. Those were the days. How long? That was a while ago, huh?
That we played. Yeah.
No. Like when
they've changed it a lot.
The peak of like Rebirth Island.
Dude, 2020. I would say
was
like
2020?
COVID. Yeah, or like a year after COVID is when all that happened.
Yeah, because I was playing when I lived in Irvine, and then I played when I lived in Corona. So
it must have been 2020.
Okay, 2020, 2021, like somewhere around there.
Yeah, because I was still in San Francisco when we started playing.
Oh yeah, dude, that game, I would be on the edge of my seat, especially if it's down like 4 teams, like the circle is like 4 circles away from like ending the game, and you're just like right there, like you're sweating, dude.
Well, it started with just that, right? When it was just the battlefield, right? I guess where it's like if you die, you're out. But then it did the resurgence, and that kind of changed.
Right. Resurgence changed the game because I feel like the battle royale. It's just like, dude, like there's some people that are just like.
I sucked, dude.
Yeah,
I never got any kills.
I think we won in all total time of playing 3 total Warzone games.
Dude, I think I only won 1. I'll be honest.
Like the battle royale.
The battle royale.
But like a resurgence. Dude, we had like over like 200 wins.
Yeah.
Like so. We would always place like at least like top 4, top 5, like most games.
Yeah.
The end game is kind of hard because like, anything can happen.
And a lot of people are good out there. I'll be honest. Some players are just they're goated.
Yeah, dude.
To a higher degree.
There's levels to it too. There's like levels to it. There's like people that we play with that are good, and there are people that are like, good. And there are people that are like elite. They're just like just doing all kinds of like shit. I follow this guy named like Joe Woe or something.
Yeah.
And he was just like the most insane COD player I've ever seen.
Joe Woe. I don't know Joe Woe. Our buddies have they bought paddles, they bought accessories just to be able to do like slides and all this stuff even faster, even better and everything like that.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. Yeah.
I mean,
a dedication to their craft, I guess, yeah.
Dude, I mean, you don't want to lose. If you're playing, like, do you want to lose?
No, but I'm also not going to invest. I'm not going to get, like, a virtual tractor just to make my farm simulator feel more...
Just stop. That's a horrible... It's also not, like, $100,000 versus, like, 50... maybe it's, like, $200.
Have you seen some of those TikTok videos where the dudes are, like, driving? They're either, like, in a cop car or the dudes are just driving a car and they're, like, in their living room. There's one dude... who's hilarious. I gotta find one of their videos, and he's just playing music or smoking a cigarette, but he's just driving. He's just chilling, driving, listening to different songs.
What is he playing? San Andreas. Like
I don't even know
GTA
what
5.
simulator he's in. I think now sometimes he does GTA, but I don't even know what simulator because it's
My
like a
dad
first
has
person,
a flight simulator.
like a whole
A
setup.
whole thing, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the full
I don't know why.
because
I don't
he
know.
can. That's
He
why.
has a bunch of just toys. Like I'm like, what?
Dude.
Why do you have this?
At some point, you gotta treat yourself. I guess you know. What
He
I
bought a
mean?
jacuzzi, dude.
Dude.
He's like, I
I go fly my plane and I send the
I was
jacuzzi.
like, all right, well, like, that's what it is, dude. Like,
That's the life, man. What more do you want? You know.
yeah. So, here's one. If you had, okay, so let's say you had to spend $100 million, right? How would you spend $100 million with few rules right there? So you can't spend it on, buying real estate. You can't buy $100 million worth of real estate because that'd be kind of stupid. Or you can't buy like a plane or a yacht that's like super expensive. Because you could buy, I think some planes you could buy for like $500 million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So okay, so out of without those crazy things, and without like buying repeated things, so like you can't be like I want to buy 50 Bugattis. What do you buy to spend $100 million in like?
But I can't spend it. I can't spend any on real estate, or can I buy like a house, like a $10 million house?
Sure, a $10 million house, sure, like a limit on the house. Sure.
Yeah. I'm not buying.
No plane, no yacht.
I don't need a plane.
None
No,
of
no,
that.
no,
like,
no. I'm not a billionaire. $100 million is not that much nowadays. You know. I would know.
I was like, what? This mic keeps like wobbling. Whatever.
I think you could twist it right here that time. So, $100 million. What would I do with it? If I had $100 million and I don't have to pay any taxes.
You have cash, cold hard cash, tax already paid. You got $100 million. What do you buy? You have 24 hours to spend. Speaking of, like, there's this movie. This is like back in like the 80s or the 90s, where the guy, to inherit this like massive fortune, he has to spend like $1 million in one day. I think it's $1 million or something.
Was it with Eddie Murphy?
Is it with Eddie Murphy?
I think so.
I don't want to like be like, oh, like this guy, thinks all like black people are the same.
You're uncultured, man.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's Eddie. I thought it was Eddie Murphy, but it could be somebody else. I want to say it's like no, it's
Eddie Murphy. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's another comedian, like that's around the same time, like that's like another black comedian.
Do you ever remember that movie Shazam
With Shaq?
It wasn't with Shaq. It was with
Shaq.
No,
Shazam.
there was another one.
Kazam was with Shaq, not Shazam. Kazam.
Yeah, but there was another one with he was like a comedian with like a goatee. I can't remember his name right now.
What is this?
There's this movie that 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 phenomenon of like where people remember things that actually weren't real, but so many people have kind of remembered it that way that it kind of.
What is that called? The Mandela effect? Is that what
I think it is what it is, the Mandela effect.
Okay.
Yeah. There's this.
Wait, before we go on the Mandela effect, $100 million. What are you buying?
$100 million. So I had $100 million. Pay off all debt and my family's debt.
Bro, fuck your debt, dude.
Immediate family. No, I mean you gotta make sure you're
okay.
right?
A few $1 million. Pay everything off.
Yeah. That can't be more than $5 million.
Yeah, you have 24 hours to spend this.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put a down payment. I'm gonna buy $10 million cash. Boom. Yeah.
The house.
A nice house.
Okay.
I'm gonna allocate $5 million to buy land.
Okay, now we're going into buying real estate.
Well,
Okay, we can't buy real estate.
All right. I'm going to put $2 million in an ETF that pays dividends. I have one that pays 1% right now. $2 million, that's $20,000 a month.
Okay, sure. That you're at like nothing. You're at nothing.
Like
you're
10 million.
at like maybe 15.
Okay, I'd buy a Lamborghini
Okay,
because I'm forced to
million.
buy this.
$1 million.
I'd make a few more investments in the stock market. I would say probably another.
Let's just say 20 million. This says no more stocks. 20 million. Everything you would buy in stocks is done.
Okay, $20 million.
So you're at like 40 million.
40 million.
Another like 55 million.
I would buy some art, do some collectibles.
Okay.
Yeah. I would.
It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, like once you've already made those investments, and I can't spend it on property or buying more land or buying.
Because those
kind
are
of things
initial
like
just
that.
investments. You're just like you're hoarding cash.
Yeah, I guess I would like start kind of. I don't know. I'd maybe make like a fund where I become like an investor. You know what I mean? I could put $2.5 million to start the fund.
That would be
that's
so fun, dude. If I was like a seed. What is it? Y Combinators or something?
Yeah.
Like a seed level investor
Anderson
on like
Horowitz.
you're just buying like here's $50K for your project OpenAI. Yeah, 5 years ago you do whatever. I don't care. And
Give
then,
me 15% or 20%, and then it sells for $100 million.
They would just ask for like less than 1%, dude. Like seed round, they're not asking.
I think Y Combinator to be a part of it. I think they get automatically 10% or something like that.
Absurd.
But if you're in Y Combinator, you get access to, well, the PayPal Mafia. You get access to all of their connections and everything like that. Obviously, not everybody makes it, but so many people have made it out of the Y Combinator.
Yeah, I mean, like I think having a good backing definitely helps for sure.
Especially in tech and especially in that area, like it is kind of like who you know kind of thing. Like it helps a lot
To raise money, 100%, dude.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of times when they're raising money, they're not really buying the product; they're buying the team. They're buying the execution ability of that leadership team that can go and execute on this. So $100 million that you wouldn't be able to do it in 24 hours.
Yeah, without again, I'll do maybe investments. I maybe buy some like small businesses or stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean you can. Yeah, I mean that once you start like again going down the investment route, you can do that pretty fast. But you can't really. I feel like
And I go on like vacation.
to spend, but it's
that's
hard to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're buying businesses, because like even in a month, right? Like let's say you couldn't do any investments, like spending $1 million in 1 month, but you can't buy any. Let's say no, you don't have any debt, you don't have any like things you need to pay off. All the bills are paid, and you got $1 million you have to spend. And what do you do?
Dude, I feel like I would buy a lot of people like gifts for going on vacation or go like just blow it on like that kind of stuff. Or like we're gonna go to dinner at like the nicest restaurant. I'm taking all my friends and family. Like I'm paying for it. Oh, you want that Gucci bag? Okay, fine. Here's this Gucci bag.
But how many months can you keep doing that?
I don't know. I feel like it adds up pretty quick. Like $1 million a month. The $100 million, maybe you could kind of get away with it. But if you just had $1 million that you just had to spend and you had no debt and anything like that, it's like, well,
Yeah.
And again, it's like your mortgage, the $10 million house. That's at least probably like $20,000 a month.
Yeah, dude. I know these folks that came to my wedding that are selling their house
Where?
in Newport Beach.
In the nice part of Newport Beach?
I think the house is in like 55, $60 million.
No shit, yeah.
I'm like, gee, what?
Do you need a real estate agent?
Yeah, it was listed by like the guy. I think the Altman brothers. They have the show. They're on that show.
The twins or something like that. Yeah.
No.
No?
They're on the $1 million listing LA. They're on that show. They listed the property. I don't know if it's sold or not. 'Cause I feel like if you're selling like a house that's in the $50+ million range, like you have such a limited buyer pool. Who's really gonna out there spending $50 million on houses, right? Like, so like you really got to be plugged in. You're calling like your assets in like Dubai,
You gotta know people,
and like
yeah.
and like a lot of rich Chinese folks or Singapore or whatever. Like, hey, you want to buy $1 million? Because I feel like you're not even gonna live there.
Yeah.
Because if you're buying a $50 million house, you're like, all right, it's like I have a property. Like you're basically hoping the real estate value goes up over time.
I wonder if that's considered like an investment to buy like that home.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's an absurd amount of money to like buy a house to live in. Like I don't know. Like I guess I'm just bored. Like it's the problem. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like if it's considered an investment and people do that, it's like I don't know. Maybe that's a way to get like I don't know that whole Trump that golden visa.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's some part, something.
Yeah, I mean that's what they do. Like I mean a lot of these, for example, Chinese kind of companies where they'll do a large investment, buy like a hotel or something like that.
Yeah, I sold those. when I was working
mergers?
at EB5 Investors.
How people get it together and everything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
they,
So part of my job was to go find foreign investors.
yeah.
So you would go and you'd set up these conferences. Like when I was in Dubai for like 45 days plus, I'm basically setting up meetings with like financial advisors, like tax professional, chartered accountants, wealth managers, to basically have them pitch my investment opportunity to their clients to get like a visa or a green card to somewhere. And that whole market is insane.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it's like $1 million. Well, it used to be like $1 million a pop kind of thing or something like that.
So it was 500,000, and they got moved to like 900K, and then I think still at like 900K. There's a couple of different ones, but I think it's around like that price.
I wonder if that changes with this whole the golden visa thing, though. If that goes away and it's just now that $5 million investment. But I mean, that's crazy. It's like that's what they do, where they package it together, and now $150 investment, but you have 150 investors.
You would get so many people to come.
Yeah.
Because I guess, I don't know, no one, I mean, there's people that probably know the nuances on this, but is it a $5 million you just give and donate to the United States, or it's a $5 million of like investment you have to make to create jobs?
I think
the
I don't think it's even fully set up yet, but I think they were saying like it has to be something that creates jobs.
Okay.
So I don't think it's going to be like the
thing.
same.
So the EB5 program is the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's that whole topic is a sore topic on a lot of people to chit chat on. I think, I think it's two things. It's like one is question of national security and protecting your borders, right? And then on the same side, there's a fundamental argument that is to be had is like, well, we are a nation of immigrants, all the way going back. Like, again, like, no one is from here unless you're like native to the land, right? Mm-hmm. So everyone came here, right? And the whole idea of that is like, this is a melting pot of things, right? So, yeah, you got to protect your borders and whatnot, but also like, the identity of what makes America is like that aspect of like, ability to be able to come here to
make it,
to live the dream, right? So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens on that.
Yeah, that's a whole
can of worms.
I'm doing a podcast with my girlfriend talking about being all over the place, but we're going to be talking about that kind of specific thing, more so the differences between like Mexico and the United States. She's from Mexico.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm talking to the people, man. Yeah. And kind of talking about those differences and those nuances and her experience being here and I lived in Mexico for a little bit and kind of just the differences and things like that.
How was that, dude?
Mexico was
Mexico
awesome.
City? Is that where you lived?
No, I lived in Guadalajara.
Oh, dude, it's always like when you say it.
Guadalajara. Yeah, that's fine. It works. It's an awesome city. It's an awesome place. It's a beautiful place. Don't go there because don't make it a New Mexico City where it's gentrified. I want to go and buy some. I want to gentrify it, I guess. It's a terrible thing to say, but.
Is it still fairly. I'm sure it's huge. Like, I'm sure there's like there's got to be how many people? Like 30 million? 20 million?
No.
How many people live there?
In Mexico City, where?
In that state, I guess.
In Mexico City is the largest city in Mexico, and that one's 26 million.
I think it's the largest city in North America.
It is it's like I think it's the second biggest city in the world or third biggest city in the world.
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
Behind China, 26 million people. But in Guadalajara, I think it's only like the whole metropolitan area, like maybe 3 million.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
No, everything is pretty much like Mexico City, and then Mexico's big, so everything is kind of spread out.
How big is Mexico? I feel like people generally don't see how big Mexico is, and it's probably like 60-70% of the size of the United States.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's massive.
Yeah.
It's bigger than a lot of countries in Europe, and people don't realize how big.
Well, I mean, everything is bigger than I feel.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, it would probably go all the way from England even the size, all the way down to like Italy. You know, like it's long.
Yeah, I would like this just shape of it is kind of weird, but I'm not sure if someone has done like a comparison where they kind of overlap the.
Oh, I'm
the
sure.
two
I'm
things.
sure. Jamie, pull it up.
Yeah. Wow, look how big it is. But it's a huge country, you know, and it's a cool country for a lot of different reasons. You know, obviously I'm Mexican and I speak Spanish, so it makes it a little bit easier. But it's.
Thought you were French.
No,
this
I'm
whole
not
time.
I don't like the French, man. I like the French. They're just they're like Argentinians, I guess. But it's a cool place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend it. I think it's a lot of culture, a lot of history. It's a different culture, different place.
You know,
people are very nice.
I was talking to my my coworker, my SDR, and he was talking about like he's Jamaican, and I was like, hey, like I don't know if you knew, but there's like ton of Indian folks in Jamaica, and he's like, yeah, I mean, he's like he's never been, but he was like, yeah, my grandma told me about it, or my grandpa, someone told him about it, and I was like, yeah, like back in the 1700s, when the British ruled India, they would send a lot of like criminals and stuff like that into Jamaica and Australia, like, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
And a lot of them got shipped here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that's why they have a whole population in Jamaica.
Yeah, like the curry. There's a lot of curry mix. Like if you're in the West Indies area, like in the whole Bahamas, that region,
yeah,
there's a lot of like curry type of like dishes.
Interesting.
And that's from like that influence of like, you know,
the Indian and everything.
The trade, like the British trade, what the British had set up between their islands and so forth. So.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. It reminds me of you ever been to Mexicali? You know where Mexicali is?
I mean, I know where Mexicali is. Like, you know, like
yeah,
went on a cruise with you down there.
No.
Or further south.
No. Mexicali is like it's a border town next to Calexico. It's almost Arizona. So like you're, oh shit. Welcome to episode 2.
God damn it.
Dude, we just recorded about an hour's worth of an episode, probably a little bit. It said 53 minutes, 55 minutes. Now I'm keeping my eye on it. It didn't record any video. So the camera died, first of all. Bibhor pointed it out.
Technical errors.
It's my first day, man.
Initial launches of these podcasts. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal.
Dude, it was a riveting conversation, dude. We were really going off. You guys missed out. I'm just saying.
Maybe we'll just put that up there someday.
It could still be a podcast. We still have all the audio, so we could add that in there somewhere. Just kind of random thoughts by not having a video. I'll see if we can play with it. We'll see what we can do. But in any case, welcome to episode 2 of Bibhor and Oskar's podcast. Love you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to do that, dude. Gary V, shout out, dude. We forgot to mention him when it was. We did mention him when it was recorded, but you know the thing that he does. I got to get that crisp one, you know.
If anybody has an idea for an intro or an outro, please give us something catchy to start out.
Yeah, and then if you are looking to get some advice on making podcasts, and you know, let us know.
Dude, buy on our link below. You could buy our modules and our training of how to be a podcaster.
Yeah. Dude, you know what's so funny?
What not to do in OBS and how to record your video. And
you know what's so funny? I was just watching this a video. I don't know if it's like a reel or TikTok or whatever, but it says people that are making you buy their courses are not like someone that is very successful isn't selling a course. That's basically what I was trying to get at. Because
are you saying that all the money that they're showing me isn't made from what they're actually doing?
Yeah, it's like, dude, like if you know, like again, I think it goes to any business model type of thing, right? If you are making insane amount of money doing whatever you're doing, no business is going to be like, okay, here is the secret formula. Now you go make more money. Like that makes no sense. Like and people can come back in the comments and be like, "Oh, like no, we do that." No, most of your revenue comes from selling that course. Don't lie to me. That's how this works. Like, you know, like what?
And it's tough, man. So I've paid for some of those courses before. I've paid up to $5,000 for some of those courses before.
What?
Yeah.
What did you buy?
Different ones. I bought the one that cost me $5,000. It's from a buddy of mine, actually.
No friends no more.
Yeah. Well, no, we weren't like super close buddies, but a good buddy of mine now. But he does Airbnb and like short-term rentals and all that stuff.
Okay.
So I have access to all that stuff, and he's doing pretty well. Again, he think he's made a good chunk of money off of the training.
The courses.
Yeah.
But again, okay.
But I mean, he is making good money on the Airbnb stuff.
No,
so
I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah.
It is legit,
But I see a lot of these, like, I don't know, like gurus on the internet that like sell courses and stuff like that. Like, if you're very heavily pushing your course, then you're in the business of selling a course, not the product. You know what I'm saying? Like, your revenue source comes from a product. Well, in that person's, your friend's case, right? I don't know the guy, but most of his money, I assume, would comes from Airbnb type of situation, right? So, that's great. Of course, it's on the side, but making most of my money on this, and that's fine. But a lot of people that just do like just a course, all right, like come on now,
like to be a digital marketer, or like the remote worker and everything like that. That's the one that kind of gets me.
Yeah, dude, ChatGPT can do it. Yeah. That's the problem, right? Like, one of the things that we talk about all the time is like, what job is most likely to get impacted with AI, right? And like it's both across all spectrum of jobs. It's the high level jobs, it's the low level jobs. We're seeing the first iteration of like AI that's simply just on the computer. The next one is going to be a robot. And then what? The plumbing, that's going to be done. The electrician, that's going to be done. Like it is really going to that point of singularity at some point. I'm not going to say right now, but maybe in the next 50 years, 60 years, we're going to get to that point where like all the jobs are going to be done. And then what?
Then we get to just sit on the beach, drink pina coladas.
Right? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Art.
That'd be cool. But like some of these things early on, like paralegals and, like a lot of jobs where you're skimming through data or like reading a large documents, those are going to be gone first. Because you just upload that PDF and my boy GPT-4 will just tell you exactly to what detail and how it happened on what page, like, and then that's just it, right?
So it'll take over like the mundane tasks and everything like that, you think? But then you think
all jobs are called across all spectrum.
But
coding, right?
you don't think like it'll change from an aspect? Yeah, you're right. Like all the mundane tasks, I guess. But then it becomes more so like. I guess what a prompt engineer is, right? The idea of like, well, now you're trying to dictate, well, what kind of ideas can I create and how can ChatGPT or AI be used, or how can I leverage it to create those ideas? Like I was mentioning in the other one that we recorded, I went on a whole wormhole of how to create a golf ball with like a GPS tracking device inside of it. Doesn't exist.
This conversation is getting me frustrated now for the second time.
It was a cool idea, but I was up till like 3 a.m. on ChatGPT trying to do it. But like, dude, I have prototypes. I'll show the prototypes around here. But it was an interesting idea, and that's what I think that it will probably become. Where it's like now, someone's going to say, "Huh, that's an interesting thing. How can I make it better?" Or what could be going there? And now they could use ChatGPT or AI to ask better questions because it'll lead them down that path of understanding what questions to ask.
So,
kind of thing.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that and I was having this kind of conversation with during our one of our events, and I said this, like our entire societal structure is based on, we go to school, we learn, and they give us a test and we pass the test. For the most part, that's kind of how information and knowledge is validated, given, and so forth, right? But we are seeing a paradigm shift in like culture and technology where like with the introduction of AI, it is no longer just can I pass the test? It's going to a frame of like asking the question, right? We're going back to the beginning of like these scientific discoveries of like, how did Newton discover gravity? An apple fell. Well, why did the apple fall, right? That is where we're going. Asking questions always, I think, is better, and challenging is always better than just reading a book and giving an answer from the book. Mm-hmm. Give me why you think that is like that. That I think that goes a lot further. And with in advancements in AI, I think it's definitely going to be you asking the questions more than you trying to figure out, like, how do you ask the right question to get the right answer? Because the answer just exists everywhere. So it's your ability to ask the right question to get the right information is what's going to be key, versus before knowing somebody that had the answers.
Yeah. You needed to find the person who had the knowledge, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now the knowledge. But even more so than just the internet, because Google, like, you could do research, but you still have to kind of search and still know what you're looking at. Where this could kind of really put it into layman terms and kind of say, like, hey, yeah, X, Y, and Z, and this is what you do. It even tell you, hey, these are the next steps. Do you want me to help you out with the next steps? It's like, it's so cordial, so nice, AI, It's like, that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to become like...
you think
they're
going to start telling
better
jokes?
Ideas. Jokes?
Yeah.
I think it already can tell jokes.
Yeah, but like, have you read some jokes from these chatbots?
No, not yet. No.
Horrible.
Well, I mean...
I think, okay, well, the thing with jokes...
What comedian is training the chatbot,
I don't think it's even comedian. You can take every single joke that has ever been told and put it into ChatGPT, right? And it still won't be able to tell you the joke properly, because when it comes to telling a joke or comedy, a lot of it is punchlines.
And a
lot of it is timing. There's a lot more factor that goes into it than just saying a joke that remembers a joke. It can remember every joke. Like, the delivery is like crucial.
You can do like a knock joke, but it can't do
right.
like a sophisticated kind of like make you think.
Oh yeah, dude, Dave Chappelle is like, I think the best comedian of all time. And there's one of his skit is like where he talks about he starts off a joke, and it was like about a woman and whatnot, and he goes around this whole process of telling a joke. At the end of the joke, and he's like, kicked her right in the pussy. And I was like, holy shit, that is hilarious. But like, that was a 30-minute long joke, dude. Obviously, if you want to hear the joke, if you want to hear the joke, go online and check it out. I just gave you the punchline, but
totally,
that shit was hilarious.
We're gonna clip that, yeah.
But like, shit like that. Like, if you can build a joke and you bring it all the way back from like 30 minutes ago, what you were talking about, that's hard. Yeah. But then you build this joke for 30 minutes.
Correct. Yeah, where they kind of lay pipe, where they that's like the first joke they start out with, and then they end the whole thing with kind of that same joke and everything like that.
Yeah, and it's funny that, like, you remember Comedy Central, like, growing up?
Yeah.
Like, everything, like, I mean, I watched a ton of Comedy Central. The Mind of Mencia, everyone's probably seen that.
Carlos Mencia.
There's a bunch of other ones. The Chappelle Show. People hate him, dude. He's a joke stealer, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, allegedly. I don't know. Anyways,
kind of disappeared. I haven't seen Carlos Mencia.
He got
like blacklisted.
Blacklisted from like comedy.
Comedy clubs.
Basically, comedy, dude.
Oh wow! I mean, I imagine.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like comics don't like joke stealers. That's like a no in the community.
Yeah. I
mean, obviously, I don't know. I'm not a comedian, but. Part-time comedian.
Yeah.
I'm pretty funny.
to your wife and your son, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He thinks
Boston
funny.
is not a fan.
Yeah, he's not a fan, dude. He laughs sometimes.
Yeah.
I have a little, like a ice freezer thing outside. What do you call it? Like
a cooler?
Like a deep freezer? I don't know. Like a...
Is it just a freezer?
It's a freezer, I guess. I don't know. You can't walk into it. I want to say a walk-in, but it's not a walk-in freezer. Anyways, it's in our garage, and I keep the door open so I can see, because I don't want to turn the light on. And light doesn't work. That's why I don't turn it on. But he thinks it's so funny that, like, every time I go in the garage and try to, like, get something out of the chest, he undoes the hook that keeps the door open and just slams the door on me and just laughs. So I'm like, dude, I can't see now. Like what are you doing? Like,
Because he knows you can't see. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious. And I would come out, he'd just be dying laughing. It's like, ha 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 ha.
Tough crowd, man. Tough crowd, you know? But I don't know. Yeah, it's I mean, imagine what Boston's going to go through. I mean, he's 3 right now. When he's 18, when he's 25, 30, when he's our age. Like,
we were just talking about this, and it's like you ask a child, right? Okay, so I'll ask you this, right? Like, Oscar, make a hand gesture that says, I'm going to give you a call. What do you do?
Oh, we did like, when people do this, and now the kids
Yeah.
do this.
So now it's like this. It's like a box, and it's like this. Like, well, which I'm thinking, like, I asked him that. I asked him, hey, like, pick up the phone. And he does this. You know, like, it's kind of hilarious. And it's because, like,
well, they didn't grow up with the phone.
Yeah. There's no landline, you know? So it's hilarious. I'm like, okay. But it's crazy to think, like, you know, like what, you know, culturally, like things like that don't exist, like things that you like a cassette player, right? Like that's a ancient technology at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
We grew up with the CD player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you probably had a CD player. Like I had one of those, like not skip for 6 seconds or 8 seconds when you're walking. Oh, dude, I thought it was so cool. And then the iPod came, and the iPod came.
Yeah.
I actually have one of those iPod, not iPod Touch, but an iPod with a screen that had a rolly thingy, like you roll the.
Oh, that was like the original, the iPod. Yeah. Not the original iPod, but one of the iPods.
That had that, and then after that came the Touch.
Yeah. I never got the Touch.
Got the phone. I think the Touch was short-lived. It was a short-lived
Oh,
product.
you had the phone. It's like, well, why not just get the phone?
Yeah.
And then the iPad came out, and they're like, kids could just play with the iPad and not the. What the fuck?